When Shumi came back from Spain after riding the 2018 Harley-Davidson Softails, he didn't stop talking about how the bikes are lighter, more powerful, and they're so much more fun to ride. I'm finally getting to ride two of the 2018 Softails, the new Fat Boy and the Fat Bob, right here in India. And what better way to experience them than take them for a long ride? So I've got Rishabh with me, and we are heading to Mahabaleshwar, which is a hill station about 250 kilometers south of Mumbai. The Fat Boy and Fat Bob are two of the many motorcycles Harley-Davidson updated last year. Interestingly, this is the first model change both motorcycles are seeing in a very long time, and pretty much everything is new. So apart from looking a lot more modern, the Fat Boy and Fat Bob both get a bigger, more powerful engine that sits in a completely new, lighter and more rigid chassis. The suspension is new as well, and both motorcycles have lost weight too. All this clearly tells us that Harley-Davidson has focused extensively on improving the dynamics of both motorcycles. But before you even swing a leg over, the styling is sure to make you want to pause and admire their looks. The bigger highlight though is the design change on these two motorcycles. Well, the previous generation Fat Boy, it was my favorite Harley-Davidson. And I don't think I need to tell you how cool it looked in Terminator 2, where Arnold Schwarzenegger famously rode that motorcycle. And this one looks so much better, so much more modern and futuristic, especially with that headlight. I'm sure that if there's another Terminator sequel coming, Arnold is certainly going to ride this motorcycle in that. For 2018, the Fat Boy has been transformed into a very futuristic looking Harley, while not giving up its traditional look. So you get this gorgeous looking full LED headlight along with a large LED ring as the daytime running lamp. The headlamp unit, fat sleeves for the front forks and solid alloy wheels make for a very distinctive looking front end, and this is a Fat Boy, so you get a really fat 160 section front tire and a massive 240 section rear tire. The wide handlebar and teardrop shaped fuel tank are of course a nod to the previous Fat Boy and look as good as ever. The satin finish on the engine and exhaust looks excellent, and I was really impressed with the overall finish levels as well. I was not a huge fan of the previous generation Fat Bob's design. I think those twin round headlamps looked outdated, but the new one, this bike looks so mean. I mean, just look at that headlight. I think it looks so good, I'm almost tempted to say it looks better than the new Fat Boy. If the new Fat Boy looks futuristic, the Fat Bob's headlight looks out of this world. This is a design unlike any other motorcycle, and while the previous Fat Bob looked like a traditional cruiser, the new one is sportier than every other Harley-Davidson. Credit that to the flat, drag-style handlebar, the tightly packaged engine, and the upswept twin exhausts. The Fat Bob also gets twin discs up front that not only do a better job of braking, but also add to its sporty looks. The riding position is more upright than the Fat Boy, and the ground clearance is higher, which adds to its sportiness as well. Move to the rear and you will probably think the taillight has fallen off, but this is how Harley has designed the rear end to offer the distinctive garage-built look, and the taillights are integrated into the turn indicator pods. Common to both motorcycles is Harley-Davidson's new Milwaukee Eight 107 engine. It displaces 107 cubic inches or 1,745 cubic centimeters. It produces 145 Newton meters of torque, which is up from 132 Nm that the earlier engine offered. But more importantly, the engine architecture is a lot more modern now, which is why the engines are smoother than before, because Harley says it has worked extensively on reducing internal friction. Harley-Davidson's previous engines were smooth, but the new Milwaukee Eight 107 on both bikes here feels a lot smoother. Of course, the improved performance means acceleration is quicker as well, and among the two, it is the Fat Bob that feels punchier and is quicker to take off from standstill or accelerate out of corners. Like before, one of the biggest draws on both bikes though is the exhaust note. Harley-Davidson has managed to retain the characteristic V-twin rumble the brand is known for, something that's sure to appeal to purists. The ride from Mumbai to Mahabaleshwar is a quick run across National Highway number 4, but of course it passes through a few hills as well. So in effect, this ride has not only let us test these motorcycles at 100 kmph in 6th gear on open highways, it has also allowed us to experience the handling potential that the new Fat Boy and the Fat Bob offer. And I have to say, I am impressed at how much better the handling is. When it comes to cruising on highways, there aren't many motorcycles that can match the Harley-Davidson experience. The Fat Boy's low saddle height and more relaxed riding position, where you stretch your legs forward and place your feet on footboards, makes it more comfortable on the highway, coupled with its wide, low-set handlebar. The Fat Boy has always been considered one of the best cruisers, and the new one is certainly poised to take that legacy forward. All that comfort though means the Fat Boy is lazier than the Fat Bob around corners, as its laid-back stance and wide front tire rob it of an agile feel, and the Fat Boy also calls for more effort to maneuver at slow speeds.
In the hills, it is the Fat Bob that is the sportier of the two to ride though, and that's thanks to its sharper steering geometry and of course the shorter handlebar that offers better leverage. So Rishabh, how are you liking the Fat Bob?
I am enjoying myself, frankly. The ground clearance is higher on the Fat Bob, the foot pegs are higher too, and if you see the tires, they're rounded as well. So that helps you tip the bike into the corner with a lot of more ease compared to the Fat Boy, and I think that's why I was enjoying myself.
Can we swap bikes now?
Okay, fine, you can go for it.
Cool.
Around corners, the Fat Bob instantly felt a lot more agile and sportier to ride. Its sharper rake, shorter wheelbase and stiffer upside-down Showa cartridge forks meant turning into corners was fun, but the bigger joy was its ability to lean deep into corners. The Fat Bob's foot pegs are positioned higher than the Fat Boy's footboards, and grounding them is not too easy. So the new Fat Bob is thus a far more accomplished corner cover, if you can call a Harley that. The Fat Boy and Fat Bob both also get this remote preload adjuster knob for the rear suspension, and while the setup is stiffer, both were able to soak up bumps and potholes reasonably well. I have to say, the new Fat Boy and Fat Bob both impressed me with their handling, and despite their 300 kg curb weights, both will surprise you with their agility.
So we have reached Mahabaleshwar, and it's been a fantastic day on the road with these two Harley-Davidsons, the Fat Boy and the Fat Bob. And I think the weather's cooler here, which is making us feel good after this long ride. And it's now time for us to enjoy some strawberry with cream. But Rishabh, wait, before you dig in, what did you think of the two motorcycles?
Okay, I'll have to start with the Fat Boy first. In terms of looks or presence, it is absolutely stunning. If you want a Harley-Davidson that stands out, and if you want people to look at you, just look at the Fat Boy. Those wheels, or you say the bling around the chrome or the shape of the headlamps, DRLs, it's just stunning. And what I also appreciate is the fit and finish. It's much better than the Harley-Davidsons of yore, and I think it's a marked improvement. So I did enjoy riding it on the highway, but when I was riding up towards Mahabaleshwar,
In the hills?
Yeah, in the hills, I didn't really like it. It doesn't want to corner. The tire, if you see, the rear tire is a bit flat. So
Of course, it's got a 160 section front tire.
And a 240 rear, yeah. So
it's massive.
You have to really muscle that bike around corners, and you got to have arms like Arnie if you have to really get this bike going around corners. On the other hand, the Fat Bob is one that I really loved a lot. It's nimble, it's agile. I know I'm talking about Harley-Davidson here, but you don't feel its weight, first of all. And the way it changes direction, or, you know, the way it just feels to ride. It feels much more sprightly, much more sportier. I know that was the intent, and I think Harley-Davidson has really managed to do that. And personally, I really love the headlamps. I think I'm just floored by the headlamps here. So I think, yeah, the Fat Bob is the one.
That's right, Rishabh. I think as far as the cruiser space is concerned, these two motorcycles here have clearly upped the game. Of course, they look a lot more modern and a lot more appealing. The fit finish levels are way better than what we've seen on the previous generation models of these two. And apart from that, I think what is more important to me, and of course to you and most bikers, is the fact that they're so much more fun to ride now. They've got bigger engines, the chassis is stiffer, the suspension is stiffer, which makes them so much more easy and fun to ride and engaging.
Exactly.
And the bigger news though is that they're still on sale as CKD. The prices haven't changed, so that makes them very attractive for somebody who's into cruising or riding distances. So Rishabh, which one are you going to ride back home?
The Fat Bob.
I think I'm happy. I'll take the Fat Boy.